Welcome back, everybody. This is part 2 of my PRISM Leisure DVD collection. Hope everybody's okay. First one for this video that we're going to have a look at is Darkstar by John Carpenter. Really early John Carpenter filmed this. This is also available on Blu-ray now. Nice that PRISM picked this film up, because I do like it. It is a good film. It is low budget and it is very studenty, but it's a nice release. What you'll find with PRISM Leisure is that they weren't really a company that sort of nailed one genre down. They pretty much released whatever they could get hold of. So there's a great collection of sci-fi films and horror films, some fantastic horror films on this line. Action films, kids films. There's everything on here. So there's a bit of everything, something for everyone. So if you are looking to start a collection, then you can't really go wrong with a look at the PRISM Leisure releases, because they offer a lot and it is really cheap. It's a good way to get into collecting. But this is John Carpenter's Darkstar. Again, there is nothing on this. It's just a bare bones film, but a very nice release that PRISM put out. Again, can be picked up for relatively cheap, because like I said, there is a Blu-ray release of this now, which is probably a lot better. I don't own the Blu-ray release. I should do, to be honest, because I've got a decent library of John Carpenter stuff. And I would imagine on the Blu-ray there's a hell of a lot of special features there as well. But there's nothing on this DVD release. Again, like every other one I've showed you up to now, you've got your chapter selection on that side, your disc and your disc art there. It's nice that the disc art's always something a bit different than what the cover art is. And then again on there's some other titles. Some big hitters that they're showing in there, really. I mean, June's in there, and Donnie Darko's in there, Lawnmower Man. But we'll get round to them later on. So that is John Carpenter's Darkstar. People may laugh at this film. People do laugh at this film. But I fucking love it. It is a fucking excellent film of just absolute tosh. It is Bigelow's Adventures in Time. I first saw this as a kid one Christmas on TV. And I think it was probably during the Christmas holidays from school. Probably both parents were still at work at that point when I'd broken up from school. And this came on the TV about lunchtime. And I watched it and I have loved it ever since. There's just something about it. It's just got charm. It isn't the best film you'll ever watch. It's definitely not the best time travel film you'll ever see. But there's just some charm about it that I really do like. Neil Dixon, Peter Cushing. If I'm 100% correct, and I think I am, this is Peter Cushing's last film where he acted in, which is a shame. But Peter Cushing takes a really good role in it. He's not in it much, but for the bits he is in it, it is very good. Again, unlike other PRISM Leisure releases, this one's got quite a lot of special features, where if you look further down on my channel, you'll see that I've got a video for Bigelow's Adventures in Time, and where I've uploaded the making of the film on. Go and check that out. If you like the film, definitely go and check that out. But yeah, special features on this is a making of, TV spots, image gallery, filmographies, there's music videos, there's the Saturday Superstore, which was a kids TV show on a Saturday morning in the UK, and there's an extract from that show on there, which was aired on the 19th of April 1986, which is really good. And then for all you UK viewers that know Blue Peter, there's an extract on there as well from the 21st of April 1986. So there's some good stuff on there, especially for a proper 80s head like me. Just one of those films that I've always loved. Now, there is a Blu-ray version of this, and I do not own the Blu-ray version of it, and I should do, to be honest. It's just I've not got round to picking it up. Can't think what the company was that put the Blu-ray out. I have got it in my head that it was Network. Maybe not, but it could be. But if you have a look inside, again, some different disc art from what the rest is. You got your chapter selection there. And this one, they've obviously spent a couple of quid on this one because obviously there's a nice bit of internal art on it as well. If you've never seen this film, go and check it out. You will have loads of fun with it. It's just a straight up popcorn flick, but it works really well, and it's a true favourite of mine. That's Biggles Adventures in Time. Now, as far as the Prism Leisure line goes, like I've explained before, normally it's just cheap, low budget stuff that's relatively cheap to pick up in the UK now. Now we're going to look at one film now that is low budget, a cheaply made film, but is going for high money on DVD in the UK at the moment. And it is Ghost Chase from 1987. For anybody watching in the US, I think in the US this went under the name of Hollywood Monster, but here in the UK it was known as Ghost Chase. An odd film that's quite likeable. You watch it first time round and you think, yeah. And then the subsequent times I've watched it over the years, I wouldn't say it gets any better, but it gets a little bit more charming each time. If you've ever seen this film, you'll know that it stars Jason Lively. It's one of those films that a lot of people forget or a lot of people don't know about. Coming out in 87, there was obviously a lot of big hitters at the time, and this just sort of got swept by the wayside, I think, and probably did more money on VHS than it ever did at the box office and at the cinema. But Prism Leisure picked it up and put it out, but it must have been really small numbers because this is really, really difficult to find and really difficult to try and get it for reasonable kind of money. This thing at the moment is probably going anywhere from 20 to 25 quid on the second-hand market in the UK. If you can pick this up at a car boot or anything like that, then for little money, then you've done really well. Grab a copy while you can. It's again bare bones release by Prism Leisure. Obviously they didn't have anything for this in the way of special features, and it's 4.3 full frame, so it's probably straight from the VHS copy. This I would say there's been no remaster, no nothing on this. It looks okay, you know what I mean. But I would imagine it has definitely come straight from a VHS rip. If you've never seen it, then give it a whirl. It is definitely worth a watch. Like I said, if you do remember this one, then kudos to you, because a lot of people I speak to have never heard of the bloody thing. Again, chapter index on that side, and your disc and disc art on that side, which again you get some nice disc art on these. So yeah, keep your eye out for that one. If you're ever in charity shops, car boot sales, flea markets, whatever you're doing, keep your eye out for Ghost Chase, because if you can get that for a couple of pounds, then you're doing extremely well. And it's a good one to have in your collection. Ghost Chase. Now, I will probably say that this is the largest film, the biggest film that Prism Leisure probably managed to get their hands on in the whole time they were putting films out. I can't recall sort of a larger title than this one that they put out, and it is Donnie Darko. Absolutely fantastic film. You've only got to look at that cast lineup to know it's going to be good. Also, you can probably tell that this is the largest film that Prism Leisure released, but for the simple amount of numbers that's out there of it. It doesn't matter where you go, you'll find a copy of this second hand, whether that's secondary market, eBay, CEX, places like that, whether that's sort of pawn shops or anything around them kind of areas, whether you go into second hand shops, whether you go into charity shops, car boot sales, you will find this version of Donnie Darko on the PRISM Leisure release in its droves, and it's literally pence this now. You can get it for nothing. Yeah, there's a Blu-ray release of this, and I think Screen Factory put a nice release out of this in the US. But this can be found all over the UK for absolutely nothing. Again, it's a shame that there's for a bigger film as this is, that they didn't manage to procure any special features for it. Because I mean, there's a special features box there, but let's be honest, animated menus aren't a feature. Chapter selection is not a feature. But it is Dolby Digital 5.1, which I suppose is something. Like I said, you will find this film anywhere and everywhere on the second-hand market. So if you do like this film, you don't have it, then if you're looking for this DVD version of it, it's probably the DVD version to get. That's Donnie Darko. Another good title that PRISM managed to get a hold of and released is Shadow of the Vampire. Again, probably not, I don't know if people remember this film or not, but it came out in late December 2000. Starred John Malkovich, Willem Dafoe, Catherine McCormack and Eddie Izzard, and was produced by Nicolas Cage. And Nicolas Cage's production company Saturn Films, in conjunction with BBC Films. If I'm not sure, Willem Dafoe got a nomination for this film. Again, if you don't know anything about the film, it's based around the filming of Nosferatu in 1922, and the film is about the goings on around that film of that time. Very good film. If you're not seen it, I can recommend it. It's really good. Nice thing with this release, PRISM went all out with this. So the features are a trailer, behind the scenes featurette, special effects and makeup featurette. It's got a full length commentary on, video interviews, production photographs and notes, cast and crew biographies. So you get quite a bit on there. So it is a nice release. Again, can be picked up reasonably cheap. This now, you can probably find it all over. Again, chapter list on that side. Nice bit of disc art. So yeah, if you've never seen that one before, pick it up. It is a decent enough film. That's Shadow of the Vampire. Another look into sort of the sort of suspense, horror, thriller kind of thing that PRISM sort of did really well and picked quite a few titles up for. And that's the Darkling. This is a film I didn't really know before I picked this copy up, and it turned out to be pretty good. I mean, again, the other reason I picked this up is because it is relatively cheap. They can be picked up for next to nothing, and I was surprised. Really, it is pretty good. Whole concept is about a guy selling his soul to further himself in life with wealth and fame and stuff like that, but what the perils it comes with. Pretty decent release. Again, it's not a film I knew of or was really aware of. Only thing wrong with this is for the time for this film was released, you'd have liked to think there was a widescreen version of it, but I'm afraid not. This is 4.3. But if you can get around that, then it is definitely worth a pick up and it's definitely worth a watch. Again, no features on this, no nothing on it, but a weird thing that I've never come across with PRISM Leisure before, and every PRISM Leisure release has a clear case, obviously, because there's back art in there and chapter selections and things like that. But the Darkling is a rarity, and I've never come across any other ones that PRISM did this with, and there is alternative art. So even in the early 2000s, PRISM Leisure was probably ahead of the game, because you could flip the inlay around. I know most boutique labels do that now, Well, this was probably about, I don't know what, 2003, 2004 release, something like that. And it had reversible art on it, which was, I suppose, at the time was groundbreaking. Really, I don't think many other companies were doing it. So if you come across it, pick it up. It's worth a watch. You'll get it dead cheap. That's the Darkling. This is probably, this is probably the oldest release I've got in the PRISM Leisure line, and it is Jack Nicholson and Boris Karloff in The Haunting from 1963, if I'm correct. Again, I knew nothing about this film whatsoever. That box art is nowhere as a representation of how old Jack Nicholson is in this film. I think they're using an older Nicholson picture just to try and sell this on, because he is really young in this. This is also a Roger Corman production. That's the reason I picked it up, because it was a Roger Corman production. Because again, I'd never seen this film. I don't think I'd heard of it. But there may be one reason why is that I have never heard of this film, because it went under so many different names. Obviously, in the UK, it's known as The Haunting, but it's also known as the Castle of Terror, or Lady of the Shadows, or again, it's known as The Haunting in the UK, but it's also known as Castle of Terror, Lady of the Shadows, or The Terror. Pretty decent little film. Jack Nicholson is a soldier who's fell in love with a woman that he shouldn't have done, and they hatch a plan to kill her husband, which is Boris Karloff, and then it all just goes sort of tits up. But it's a nice little watch. I suppose it is what it is. Slightly different for the chapter selection on this one. They give you a little bit of a thumbnail in it there, and so obviously some different disc art to what the cover is. But yeah, if you can find this one, pick it up. I mean, it should be. I mean, what you'll find is obviously more of these that we go through in the next few videos. You'll tend to find a lot of Roger Corman films popping up on the PRISM Leisure label. They must have been really easy to get hold of, and they bang loads of them out. And there is some great Corman films on the label. So that one is The Haunting.